have Cindy Dandois on the show now, who will be fighting Kayla Harrison next in the PFL regular season finale on June the 25th. Cindy, how are you?
Hi, I'm okay. How are you?
I am good. I appreciate you taking a few minutes to join me. The fight will be here before you know it, a couple weeks away now. How has this camp been thus far?
It's been very interesting. It's been very hard because I miss my kids. They are at home. But yeah, training went very well. I trained 2 or 3 times a day, so that was nice. And no, it's so great.
Have you changed this camp up at all? Like, have you brought in any new training partners to prepare for someone like Kayla?
I had the luck that I had a day of training with Cody McKenzie, who's also a southpaw and judo specialist. And I've been training at Jiu-Jitsu with Rick Little. That's Michael Chiesa's and Juliana Peña's camp. So I had really good people by my side. And of course, my coach Carlos was with me also. So yeah, it's been hard and it's been very it's been good. It's been good.
That's good to hear. Now, PFL, they have this lengthy bubble. It's a little bit less this time around. It's only 12 days versus 17. When do you actually leave for the States here?
I can go back to Belgium after the fight, so the 26th. For me, this feels like a 2.5 month bubble because I could leave the hotel, but I had to stay in the States. And for me, my family is at home. So it felt as a 2.5 month bubble. And it's been long enough, that for sure.
I can imagine. That must be really difficult being away from your loved ones as long as you are. Do you get a chance to like FaceTime and talk to your kids on a regular basis?
Yeah, I do that every day, but my baby is only 5 months old. So he cannot really talk. So I call him and I see him, but it's, of course, he cannot really comprehend what's going on. So it is really hard. I cannot wait to snuggle him and hold him again.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Now, the last fight here for PFL obviously didn't go the way you wanted. That was a loss to Caitlin Young. Looking back on that one, is there something that you can take from that fight here moving forward to maybe tighten up in your skill set here?
I think I showed an improvement in my striking. Caitlin is a striker, and I stood up with her. I didn't got one punch that really did something to me. I always come out to finish the fight, and I felt like Caitlin was more like playing a technical game. She didn't really want to finish. She just didn't want to get caught. That's what I felt. But of course. Judges see what they see, and that's that like it's the common sense that you cannot leave it in the hands of the judges. But I'm not taking so much from that fight with me for the fight with Kayla, because I know Kayla is not a point fighter. She comes out to finish, and I have to keep in mind that she will come out to finish. So I will do what I always do, and I will also come out to finish.
I'm a big fan of the PFL format and the way that they have this whole thing structured. How do you like fighting for PFL? I mean, because you fought in some of the biggest promotions in the world, the UFC, Ryzen. You've been around the block here. So, like, how are you enjoying yourself now for Professionals Fighters League?
I love it. I love how they respect us. I love how they keep always in touch with us. I love how they are open to us. As I said, after PFL, there will be no other organization for me. So I hope they keep me as long as possible. And although I'm not 155er, like I am a 155er, but I don't cut weight. I weigh 153, 152. Like I'm eating to be big and strong. That is nice. That's way more healthy. But if they would open a 145 division, I would be there. Obviously, that's normal. But anyway, I'm blessed to be here, and I hope to stay here. And PFL is like definitely a very good organization to be with. Like I love it. They're very fair, and yeah, I like that.
What is your current contractual situation? How many more fights do you have on your contract after this one?
Well, I signed with them, and we all have the first 2 fights from the season, and then they'll see, I guess. So.
All right. And, obviously with this fight with Kayla Harrison, such a monster event here, you guys headlining it. Have you ever fought anybody that you could compare to her before?
My first fight, I fought Marloes Koenen, and that time she was like with the best of the world. She was nine, I think he had 19 fights and I had no fights. So that's pretty comparable. And also I was the first one to beat King Rina in Japan, being very small and going out there. I usually do well under big pressure. I'm not really like the big lights don't harm me really. So I'm not scared for that. And I always ask for big fights and good opponents, and sometimes or mostly I don't get them, so I just take any fight. And then people are saying, oh, you just search easy opponents or whatever. No, I don't search anything. I just take whatever I can because I'm a fighter and I need to stay active and I need to fight. So you don't hear me complaining about this. The moment I saw I would be fighting Kayla, I was like, okay, yeah, let's go, champ. We're gonna do this.
Yeah, and I mean, you fought a who's who of great names in the past. I mean, you've even beat Megan Anderson earlier in your career, so I can't imagine you're feeling too much nerves leading into this fight. When you look at the evolution of women's MMA in general here, where do you feel like it is right now? Where do you feel like it will be 5, 10 years from now? Because you've been around for a while now, so you kind of been there to help the sport evolve.
That I'm very proud of that. I was among the first girls opening doors for other girls, where like we are actually underpaid if you compare it with males, still with the men. But I believe women MMA will be growing and we will get to the same level. So I feel that yeah, the sport is not only women MMA is being so much more technical and like evolving. It's MMA as a total. If you look at the days of Pride or the first UFC where it was like wrestler versus striker or whatever, one style fighter against another style fighter. I remember seeing fights with like sumo wrestlers in the octagon, like, and I enjoyed it. It was something else, but the sport got so much more, and I think it's gonna be like in 10 years you will not be able to compare with what it is now anymore. Like there will be way more complete fighters by then.
Yeah, it's really exciting, the evolution of the sport. Now, you're also a coach. You coach at Brutal Beasts MMA Center and Beastie Battle Kids. That's got to be pretty
Yes.
exciting for you, to have that also is like a job here for MMA. Is that something that you feel like, once you retire from fighting professionally, that will be your focus?
Yes. If I retire from fighting, I'm going to focus on my team. I'm going to focus on my kids from my team, and I for sure going to focus on my own kids' career. My daughter has the same dreams, the same goals as I always had, and I opened doors for her. So I'm going to try my best to make her 10 times the better fighter I ever was. My daughter is just turned 14 and she's a little badass, and I have every faith she can, every believe in her. I believe in her, I believe in her goals, and I want to show her, like, you see what mommy did without any help. Like there was no push behind me. I come from a small country. I had to work full time, and I just want to give her every opportunity she can, so she doesn't have to face the same difficulties, but she can go out there and have fun. And if my other kids want that, it's the same. But for my Lola, I know already she has it in her.
That's fantastic. Now, I was following you on your social media forums on Twitter. You made a post recently about haters and people, I guess, talking negatively towards you. That's surprising to me because I can't imagine you getting a lot of hate. Is that something that you deal with on a regular basis?
I do get a lot of hate on the internet. I do get a lot of hate in real life. I took some decisions last year, like I took some risks to get out of. People don't really understand how deep my misery was, So I opened an OnlyFans, and I it's not a choice I made because, oh, this looks fun to me. No, it's something I had to do, and I get a lot of hate about that. But at the end of the day, um, I weighed 212 pounds in January after getting a baby, and 5 months later, I'm here fighting the best in the world. So I consider it as they can talk whatever they will with their remotes from their sofa, but when did they step up to do something great, or when when did they do something what I do? Like they have no idea how hard my life is. They really don't.
Yeah, I love that answer too. And how do you stay mentally strong when you have to deal with that kind of stuff? Because I know as a famous fighter, you know, a lot of you guys get this, you know, these keyboard warriors that talk a lot of trash. Like, how do you like compartmentalize that when you have to deal with it?
Well, first of all, I'm not always mentally strong. I cry like every other human being, and I cry a lot. Um, I I think what I try to do is tell to myself, you know, last year I had real problems to deal with. You know, I lost my mom, I lost my grandma, I had financial problems to go through, like at the point where there was no money for food. Um, I had a lot of things, you know. I put a baby on this earth and I had to leave it. And that are real things. That are the real things I have to deal with. So the opinion of those people behind their keyboard are not that important. It's the real things in life, like losing your mother, knowing she's gonna die and tell her, okay, ma, I see you later. That is something. That is hard, you know. That is the real thing in life.
Yeah.
So they can talk shit whatever they want, but they don't do what I do.
I'm
They
really
don't.
sorry to hear about your loss with your mother and your grandmother. I lost my dad to cancer a couple short years ago, so I empathize, and I'm just very sorry to hear that. I'll change the subject here. I don't want to, you know,
No problem.
go down that road.
As I told you, I'm a human being. Like, you know, I'm a normal woman. I have normal feelings. I'm not always. I'm not. I'm really not. But the moment the cage door closes, I love what I do. I love what I do with all my heart. This sport has my passion. It's my drive. It's my way to show my kids I can do something great. And you know, that's what I need to do. You know, um, it's just my way of being successful, I guess.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this fight with Kayla Harrison. Obviously, she's the PFL champion. She's coming off a round one ground and pound victory over Mariana Moraes. How do you like this matchup for yourself? Obviously, she's undefeated, and there's a lot of hype behind her, and rightfully so. How do you see this fight going?
I like this matchup because it brings out the best in me. Because I believe Kayla is what we see of her in the cage makes her to me, that doesn't make her a champion to me. What makes her champion to me is the way she steps up for the kids she's taking care of now. That makes her a champion to me. It makes her a champion in life. And I feel like I'm a champion in life. And it's a fact that we just both love the same thing and do the same thing, you know. And the opportunity to face her, having the same strengths and also having the same hardships is very special to me. And that's what is going to make it a great war. We put a lot on the line. We are both mommies. We love these children. But we win through hardships. And I think that's very special.
What is your best course to victory here in this fight? Like, how can you get your hand raised here and give her first loss?
You know, I definitely know Kayla is not afraid of me on the ground. She's a great ground fighter herself, but knowing at the end of the day, ground is also my best place to be. I think my best chance will be on the ground. That's it always in every fight, even against the great grapplers. I think my best chance is always on the ground.
Okay, so you predicting a submission victory? Is that how you see it ending?
I predict a great war. That's what I predict.
Okay, sounds
something to be proud of.
I can't wait to watch this fight. We'll be able to watch it here on ESPN2. June the 25th, it will be the main event. Cindy Dandois, Kayla Harrison. Can't wait for it. I appreciate you joining me today, Cindy. Before I
Thank
let you
you.
go, I want to give you the floor. If there's anyone you want to thank, please do so, and tell people where to follow you on social media.
Okay, so you can just follow me on my Instagram by typing out my name. If you want to support me, just support me, or want to see something like Nadia or whatever, you can go to my OnlyFans and help me out there. I just want to say thank you to my coach Carlos Scram for being with me with every step I did, for supporting me, for catching my tears, and to my training partner Maynard, who left his job for months just to be at my side. Our gym is opening their doors again completely from June 9th. So in Belgium, we are still the only gym having success on international fights. So for people in Belgium, you know where to be.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.